She might have a lot of bank, but she's got zero brain cells. Welcome back, guys, to Fall Wrestling, and we're here to talk about Sasha Banks, here to talk about Mercedes Moné, here to talk about possibly the most delusional person in wrestling in 2023. So welcome back, guys, to the channel. And Mercedes Moné, in the last couple of days, she's been tweeting, she's been going crazy, she's even lost her IWGP title. But yeah, there's something seriously wrong in the head of Sasha Banks. Now, I actually think Sasha Banks is pretty good. I think she's pretty talented, but unfortunately, she's not half as good as she believes she is. And she's, again, this week just spiraled completely out of control, and she's tweeted some absolute nonsense. So, first of all, before she defended her title, she started bragging about how rich she is. She says, quote, "I'm richer than I've ever been, and I love that for me. Hashtag money," end of quote. Now, you can argue that it's in character, but this appears to be legit. She's bragging about how much money she's got because she followed it up, quoting this same tweet, talking about dirt sheets and how she thinks it's ridiculous that there's dirt sheets in wrestling, this and that, and she calls them marks, and she says, "Shut up and enjoy the show, enjoy our hard work and craft, and just have fun." I mean, she says, let us entertainers entertain you. I mean, maybe the problem with that is a lot of you so-called entertainers aren't very fucking entertaining. I mean, who in today's wrestling world entertains anybody? Like, back in the day, Austin, Rock, those guys entertained you. Today's wrestlers, not so much. But anyway, Mercedes Moné talks about how much money she's got and just throws out a random dig at the dirt sheets. Now, that's fair enough. But then the following day, she has to make one of the most delusional comments I've ever seen in my life. And she was speaking about how good a wrestler she is, and that she's just not the best women's wrestler, but she is the best wrestler, period. So this is what Sasha Banks had to say, and I quote, "The ultimate goal for a lot of professional wrestlers is to make it to WWE. That's what I thought was the big time. But I did that, and I wanted to make new history. And the place to do it is here in Japan. Japan has the highest standards for women's wrestling, and I want to set the standard in New Japan. I'm not even in my prime yet. I'm just getting started. I'm finally getting to create the magic I've always wanted to create. My ideas aren't being limited, and I'm not constantly hearing no or that matches are being cut short. I'm not going to hold back. I'm not the greatest women's wrestler. I am the greatest wrestler. When you think of John Cena, The Rock, or Kenny Omega, I won't stop until people are thinking of Mercedes Moné in the same light." End of quote. Right, guys, what is fucking more delusional? The fact that Mercedes Moné believes that she is the best wrestler in the world, that she is that high up in the standards of wrestling, or the fact that she believes Kenny fucking Omega, Kenny wrestle 9-year-olds and blow up dolls Omega, who's never been in the main company, who's never fucking sold anything worth a dime to the mainstream wrestling world, that he is in the same sentence as John Cena and The Rock. How can you put Kenny Omega in the same category as those two? It is fucking unbelievable. John Cena and The Rock, mainstream stars, literally have outgrown wrestling, have went to the mainstreams, have went to fucking Hollywood. Kenny Omega, indie bum that wrestles in Japan and is only getting to appear on TV because Tony Khan sucks his dick and gives him money. I mean, that is literally it. AEW, glorified indie fed with a lot of money from a mark. You know, Sasha Banks wants to talk about marks. I mean, Tony Khan's the biggest one of them all. But yeah, well, what is Sasha Banks talking about here? How can she think she could ever be in the same sentence of John Cena and The Rock? There's no women's wrestler. The greatest women's wrestler of all time can't even come close to being compared to The Rock or John Cena. Let's just be honest. They can't. And Sasha Banks is nowhere near that. She's absolutely nowhere near that. Is she good? I think she's okay. Could WWE have gave her a better career? Possibly. Possibly, but she's like hell bent on trying to fucking prove WWE wrong. I mean, if she was that good, she would have gotten over in WWE. If she was that good, she would be the star of WWE. It wouldn't be Charlotte Flair that had 14 world titles. It wouldn't be Becky Lynch that got the push and was called the man and got the WrestleMania main event first. If Sasha Banks was as good, if she was half as good as she thought she was, she would have been the woman that WWE pushed as their top star. And she never was. Now, was it down to her work ethic? Was it down to her ability? Was it down to her promos? Maybe not. Was it down to her attitude? I think it is fair to say absolutely fucking yes. So Sasha Banks, I mean, as good as she thinks she is and as good as she might be, is she worth the hassle? Honestly, is she worth the hassle? She might be making money in New Japan, and that is fine. But I mean, would she even be welcome back to WWE? She's pretty much screwed things up there. Same with her little friend Trinity, Naomi. She got her to leave, and look at Naomi now. Sasha Banks is bragging about making all this money. And what's Naomi going to do? She'll be signing on for a welfare check soon enough. Naomi has got no money, sitting at home, doing absolutely nothing. While all these other companies want Sasha Banks, they all want Mercedes money, and nobody wants to touch Trinity. So, again, she's not the greatest wrestler. She's definitely not the greatest friend. She's not the greatest role model. She's just a big crybaby, horse-faced looking bitch, to be honest. So there you go. That's what I think of Sasha Banks. And, I mean, this is coming from someone that actually finds Sasha Banks decent. I mean, compared to women's wrestling, I think she is pretty good. I'd say she's one of the better women's wrestlers of the past, 5, 6, 7 years. Yeah, so there you go. I don't hate Sasha Banks. I also kind of find her hot in a weird way, especially if you don't look at the horse face. But for her to suggest she's the greatest, for her I don't know what's worse, honest to God. I actually don't know what's worse. Sasha Banks thinking that her name belongs in the same sentence as both The Rock and John Cena, or Sasha Banks thinking that Kenny Omega's name belongs in the same sentence as John Cena and The Rock. Because look, I think you can make a case that Sasha Banks is better than Kenny Omega, but there is zero case that any of those two are anywhere near John Cena or The Rock. So yeah, John Cena and The Rock can continue their Hollywood movies. Sasha Banks can wrestle in Japan in front of 20 Japanese people, and I mean, Kenny Omega can continue to do what he wants, probably stick the Young Bucks' fingers up his ass and wrestle 9-year-olds. So there you go, Kenny Omega, you keep doing that. And Mercedes Moné talks about how she's mega rich, how she's making more money than she's ever made. No, John Cena and The Rock, those are the two people that are making real money. Those are the two guys that are richer than you, Sasha Banks, Kenny Omega, and all those other bums combined. So there you go, guys. What a statement here for Sasha Banks. Burying the WWE, talking about how our matches are being cut. Does she think that's how you determine a great wrestler? I mean, I'm sure the best people of all time have had matches cut, but she takes it so personal. She takes it as if it's like a personal attack on her. Oh, wow, your match got cut from fucking 14 minutes down to 11. Deal with it. Grow up and fucking deal with it. If you were that much of a boss, if you were a CEO, you wouldn't be here bitching about a couple of minutes getting wiped off your match. It's just pathetic. She talks about people being marks. She sounds like the biggest mark of them all, crying and holding this vendetta against WWE because they sometimes cut her matches short. Honestly, what a joke. Anyway, guys, that's it. Let me know your thoughts on Sasha Banks. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.